Good morning, dear children. Dear children, we are going to start our next chapter of geography, which is chapter number 5, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. So, children, we are talking about our country. Fine. So, we have discussed the location, we have discussed the size, we have discussed the drainage pattern, and then we have discussed the climate also. Now children, the next topic which we are going to discuss about our country is the natural vegetation and the wildlife found here. Fine children, you might have observed whenever we go out, we see around us a lot of greenery. Fine children, our country is a very vast country, you all know. Fine, it has a lot of bioforms available, and we can see them throughout the country. Children, our country is one of the 12 mega diversity biodiversities countries in the world. Out of the 12, our country is one of the mega biodiversity, means very big biodiversity, and biodiversity includes plants and animals. Fine, we have 47,000 of plant species. Fine, and that occupies the 10th place in the world and 4th place in the Asia in plant diversity. 15,000 flowering plants are found in India, which is 6% of the world's total number of flowering plants. Then comes children, our country. In our country, you all know non-flowering plants are also there, such as ferns, algae, fungi. 90,000 species of animals we have in our country, and we have a rich variety of fish in the fresh water as well as marine waters. Children, natural vegetation, what is it? You are doing it from the very small classes. So the vegetation means the plants, the bushes which grow naturally without any human interference, and which is left undisturbed by the humans for a long time, that will be known as the natural vegetation. This is also called virgin vegetation. Virgin means untouched. Fine. So untouched, if they are not not inter interfered by any human, so then it will be also known as virgin vegetation. If you talk about crops, fruits, that will not come under natural vegetation. That is just a vegetation. Fine. So there are two types of vegetation. One is the endemic or indigenous, and the other is the exotic plants. Now, in endemic and indigenous means which belong to our country, India. That is endemic and indigenous species, purely Indian. And if you talk about the exotic plants, so that is the plants which are here, which are from outside India. Fine. So how does these outside India plants come here? It can be brought by traders. Fine, so many. So if you talk about the example of endemic or indigenous, that is alpine flower. And if you talk about exotic, that is ceroy lily. That is not our plant. Then children, flora fauna, you are doing it from a very small class. Flora is your plants, fine, and fauna, plant diversity, and fauna is your animals, fine. Now these, flora, fauna, the diversity, it depends on the following factors. It depends on the relief, which includes land and soil. It depends on the climate, fine, temperature, photo period, then children, precipitation, all these things are involved. Fine. Now we will talk about the relief first. Fine. So if you talk about the relief, that is land. So children, land affects the natural vegetation directly or indirectly, you all know. The moment you will not find same type of vegetation everywhere, on the mountains, in the plateaus, in the plain areas, in the dry areas, in the wet regions, that will be totally different. The nature of the land is going to influence the type of the vegetation. Might have seen a variety. Fertile soil is always dedicated to agriculture. Rough soil It will be grasslands, woodlands, fine, and they are going to give shelter to variety of plants as well as animals, fine. Now soil, children. Now what type of soil? Soil also vary from place to place, fine. So there are different types of soil, and different type of soil is going to, you know, provide you different type of vegetation. If you just take an example of sandy soil, desert, fine, there what do you find? Cactus, thorny bushes. In the wet or marshy area you will find mangrove forest and all. On the hill slopes you will get conical trees. So this way, as the soil changes, the type of vegetation also changes. Now comes the climate, children. Obviously, yes, the temperature, the character and the extent of vegetation is also going to depend on the temperature, the humidity in the air, the precipitation, the soil. If you see the slopes of the Himalayas, all the hills of the peninsula, they have height of 915. So the temperature there is low, so the vegetation and its growth will be different. If you go to tropical to subtropical temperate, you will get some other type of vegetation. So it also depends, fine. Now comes the photo period, that is the sunlight. Now children, you will agree the variation in the duration of light, which is different at different places, at different latitudes, different altitudes, different seasons, duration of the day, that also is going to, affect the vegetation, fine. Due to the longer duration, trees are growing faster in summers. As you see, seasons, they grow more, and in the winter season their growth is, a bit slow. So that also depends. Next comes the precipitation. Obviously, yes, children, entire in India, entire rainfall is brought by the advancing southwest monsoons. Just now in the previous chapter, you have read June to September, and the retreating northeast monsoons. Now, the areas where it is heavy rainfall, obviously, they are going to have dense vegetation as compared to the other areas with less rainfall. Now, children, from the very small class, you all are doing it. Why are forests important? They are renewable, they are playing a very important role in our life as well as in enhancing the quality of the environment. They are modifying the local climate, they are controlling the soil erosion, they are regulating the stream flow, they are supporting a variety of, industries, providing livelihood to many communities, fine. So scenic beauty they are giving, they are controlling the wind force, temperature, they are causing rains, they are providing humus to the soil, shelter to the wildlife. India's natural vegetation, children, it has undergone lot of changes. Why? Because you all know what why the vegetation has changed. Growing demand. Now we are cutting down the forest because we need more and more land to be cultivated because of the growing demand of the population. Because of the development in industries and mining, urbanization, overgrazing of pastures, there is a lot of change in the vegetation cover. It is vegetation cover of India is in the large parts is no more natural now, fine. Just in the inaccessible regions like Himalayas or hilly regions of central India, or Marustali area, the wet and marshy area, only there the vegetation is, natural. Rest everywhere we can say that the vegetation has been modified, it has replaced, it has degraded by the human occupancy. Fine, children. So, this was all about today's topic. Thank you and have a nice day.